Yo, Dark Side, we just got raided, son. You know how we do. Drop my new beat for these new viewers. Sheezy out.
Elena raided my stream with 78 views.
Make sure we got this going. What up, y'all? Mic check. Let's see. How am I doing? Am I good? Just like it. Cam check. Cam looking good. Also, Alien, appreciate the raid. I hope everything's doing well with you. Enjoy the anime. I actually was a little sad to not see the newest episode of My Hero Academia. Apparently, I thought there was gonna be another episode or more episodes, but I think that might be the end of the season, or they're taking a break or something. I guess we'll see on we'll see on Saturday. But look how they massacre your mobile app chat. What is this nonsense? What's that? I'm a bet 2B goal that dies and say dies starts off with whirlwind bar for season 5. Spin the win. Man. Also, just what's going on? The booty was happening. You said you can't decide. All right, so we're gonna briefly go over the notes again, kind of. I will say I'm waiting for them to actually update the whatchamacallit. Because apparently the new uniques didn't make it in the patch notes or whatever. Like the changes to the new uniques or whatever didn't make it. So I was like, it's great that we know what all the old unique changes are, but without knowing how they nerfed and or changed the new uniques, it's hard to really still plan, do planners for builds and stuff, because some of those new uniques were incredibly OP. So, I mean, we need to know something. Yeah, what hasn't Maxroll did he? They said the new used to be in soon. Yeah. I was hoping it would be in by the time that I stream tonight, because it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna stream a little bit later, so I'll be able to go over the uniques while everyone else who streamed earlier, didn't have a chance to. But yeah. Well, anyways, where we at, miscellaneous stuff or whatever. I kind of just want to talk about the uniques a little bit, and then we're gonna start doing planners, or at least attempt to do some planners today. I might get through maybe 1 or 2 planners. It's still kind of hard to build anything because, well, again, we don't know stuff, and we also don't have the new stuff in our database for Maxroll quite yet. Not yet. We will, but not yet. I don't know why I kind of went down, because I just went up to here. Yeah. Anyways, everybody says we get all these new updated Uber uniques, but half of the builds I've been looking at can't fit them in because of the new uniques. Yeah. The helmet slot is very contested. Rings are pretty contested as well, depending on the class. Weapon slots can be pretty contested too. I think this is kind of what they're, I won't say afraid of, but like, I think some of these uniques are just so good, or some of the new uniques are just so good in a general sense that you almost want them in almost all your builds in some way. Like the crown, for instance, like you want that in all your builds, almost all your builds. So it's not even like a general, I say almost all your builds. I mean, if you're doing Andarios, obviously you can't do crown or whatever, but you get what I'm saying with that. Let me minimize some stuff on the other tab over here. Got too much stuff open. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good now. But no, Um, Starless guys. Is nuts. It's also nuts too that we don't even have to like on Rogue. A large number of builds don't even need to use any or really can't use any attack speed aspects. Like most of those are like gone. There's like no way to use any of them. No need to, but you know, just you just can't. +2 to core skills. Also, definitely ridiculous there. Doombringer, never really gonna use even on a rogue build. There's just no room for that. Maybe hardcore. Spear, no. Grandfather, no. Melted. Actually surprised this isn't like better in any way, shape, or form. You might use Doombringer for the horde in front of hordes. You have room for that? Is my thought. Like, do you have room for this? Like, I will say this though. I will say this. Like, looking at the plan, like some thoughts to build some builds. We're gonna be really low on health, as well as damage reduction if we don't take. I almost think that when I looked at this on the surface, the Tyrios Mountain on the surface, I'm like, the stats are really freaking good, but the unique affix is, well, garbage for Rogue. But given the fact that we have very little DR and very little health, I'm almost thinking we kind of have to go to Tyrios Mountain. I mean, I'm not saying the ranks to Darkstride isn't good, but like that damage reduction plus the maximum resistance going over the cap is probably pretty sure is better than the ranks to Darkshroud. So, and you don't have to stack any resistances anywhere because, well, you have it all. You have everything you need in one piece. It seems like Lucian's Starless are going to be staples in any core skill builds. It's going to be staples in basic attack builds too. Because, I mean, as long as you use the, what is it, the Umber Crest or whatever? Sword or whatever? I mean, you use that for basic attack build, then you start spending resource, which procs Crown, which also procs Starless. So even in basic attack skills builds or whatever, it's still the same thing. You still will take Starless in a basic attack build. Even if you're not, you know, ranking up your core skills like that, you still would take it because you were going to do it anyway. You didn't do it for the stats. You did it for the, you know, it's still better. The multiplier here is still better than any other aspect you can put here. So, I mean, rip Shaco. Shaco's actually really good though. It just depends on, it honestly really depends on how much of a nerf the crown is, because that cooldown reduction is massive. Especially that cooldown reduction is just out of this world, man. The crown is huge damage. Well, it is until we know what the nerfed version is. We don't know what the nerf version is. I mean, we know they nerfed it. Like, we know they nerfed that. Like, that's a nerf. That's getting a nerf. We just don't know about how much. It was massive damage. We just don't know how much they're nerfing it by. So Length, appreciate the sub. 3 months in a row. What a baller. No, so they are nerfing that. They're also nerfing the Umber Crust, and they're also nerfing the what is that amulet called? So all 3 of those are getting retuned. The crons, yeah, okay, yeah. So all those are getting retuned. That's why it's so important to know what the new unique values are, because until we know how much they're nerfed by, it's really hard to finish out builds, because all 3 of those items were extremely good. And it's kind of like, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, do I wear this or do I not wear this? What do we do? You know what I'm saying? Regardless, I think I think I'll be using Starless Skies anyway. Well, actually, I don't know. That's kind of hard not to, though. Huh. Where did they say they were nerfing those? In our super special Discord thing. They made mention of it. They haven't really made it like a public thing. But we were allowed to say that they're getting retuned. Retune means nerf. They're not going to buff those items. so we know it's a nerf coming on all those items. They just didn't give us any values or what those would be. Did they say when they're going to release the updates to new uniques? No, but they said soon. And we know what Blizzard soon means, right? That was like 4 hours ago. Actually, no, a lot longer than that. That was like 6 hours ago when they said soon. So, Pen the Glass Jaw, what's going on, man? What is happening? Is my shout out not working? No, for real? There we go. Took a bit. Dude, by the way, I actually didn't want to say it until you said it, because I know I remember Chronix, when Chronix joined Maxroll, he didn't like tell us audience yet. And you know, I came in and jumped in, was like, congrats, man. And he was just, you know, I kind of ruined it. I kind of ruined the surprise because I was so excited for him. And then yeah. So I kind of wanted to wait until you announced it before I say anything. Yeah. For those who don't know, Panda Glassjaw is now Team Maxroll. Epic pickup for the Maxroll team, for sure. You say excited for the changes? Yeah. So like, again, like my excitement is like being tempered a little bit until I know what the new unique values are, and whether or not they're gonna fix victimize. That's a big thing for one of the builds that I'm responsible for on Maxroll. So it's like, do I just make two completely separate planners to figure out what to do with Heartseeker, or like, you know, how am I gonna go about that? I don't know, but Tyrael's might the stats alone is most likely going to make this best in slot. Although Ranks to Dark Shroud is still very powerful, and also having an aspect here can be also pretty powerful too as well. So you do lose some damage going this route, but like you'll lose some sort of utility damage of some sort. Who was doing the rapid fire barrage, guys? Who you think? I've been doing them before they were meta. Way back in like season 1. Those would be the guys that I don't give up or transfer over or whatever like that, just because, like, yeah. So, did I see the plus 666 poison res on Andy's? Yeah, I saw that. That was cool. I like that. That was cool. Really cool detail. Thematic stats for fun, yeah. I think honestly, since you said Rapid Fire and Barrage has so much flexibility right now going into season 5. Rob has Rogue with 3 builds and S plus with Bone Spirit Necro being the only other build in S plus. What builds are what 3 builds does he think that rogues are gonna have in S plus tier? My assumption is Rapid Fire, Barrage, and I don't know what the third one he has. If Victimize is fixed, then Heartseeker should be there. Heartseeker and Pin Shot. So that would probably be 4. Unless he's talking about Andorio's Puncture. Andy's Puncture, Rapid Fire, Barrage. Rob is targeting Rogue to be nerfed, so his Barber rise up again. So I like how they gave Max Res too. Pretty common comment I've heard was that it should have Max Res instead of regular Poison Res. Oh, you talking about the Andorios? Oh yeah. Okay, I see. By the way, this damage on the Andorios did not get buffed. This was the damage it was supposed to be in season 4 when they buffed it, but they didn't change it properly. So they just updated the text, but that did not get buffed. Or some people were saying that. The Andy was one. He'd be making some adjustments too, so not sure they'll all still be up there. It's hard, again, it's hard to say. It's hard to say until we know what the new unique values are going to be. The thing too, Riptide, is that would anyone really want to do combo point Barrage though? Like even Inner Sight Barrage with Skyhunter. Depending on if you go Inner Sight Barrage, and let's say Crown isn't that great, and you go Shaco and you do Cold, so you basically do your best to be able to get the cooldown off of Cold Imbuement as fast as you possibly can. You can probably do some massive damage with an Inner Sight Precision Barrage. And I think that would be more popular. Technically speaking, combo point Barrage would still be stronger. But it's like, I think playstyle wise, people would much rather do Inner Sight Precision Barrage with Skyhunter. Don the Crown, what's going on, man? But then again, I mean, you can do spam Andy's Barrage too, but I don't know which version I'm gonna do on Maxroll though. Why does my shoutout not working today? It's being a butt. There you go. Can't wait to try out Fist of Fate with Andorios. The lucky hit would be great. The Fist of Fate affix doesn't really work with Andorios though. But the lucky hit on by itself, yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Good luck getting a item that's requires a lot of luck to hit. Nava's just overwhelmed. Was playing some ARAM. Oh, okay. ARAM in Heroes of the Storm, right? Or am I? Yeah. All random, all middle. Oh, League of Legends. Okay. All right. Yeah. Heroes of the Storm says that too. Okay. I didn't really play League of Legends, but I just Heroes of the Storm came to mind. We don't have a clue on Chain Lightning Sword either because they fixed the broken ramping, but there's apparently 2 other bugs that were nerfing the damage of it. Yeah. Yeah. Heroes of the Storm has that mode as well. You really want Fist of Fate to crowd control everything and a lucky hit for poison. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just stating that like, I'm just stating what works and what doesn't work with the baritone. Appreciate the sub. You can. Yeah, you can. I'm not sure if I'll be recommending that though, but I gotta do the math, which I don't like doing math, honestly. Not looking well for pinch on a Heartseeker from the looks of it. It all depends on whether or not Victimize is fixed. I played Rogue in season 2 and it kind of put me off Rogue. I don't blame you, man. Season 2 was yeah. I understand. I understand. Yeah, combo points for Barrage. That's what. Oh no, you're doing Andy's Barrage. I wonder what would be better though, like Andy's Barrage or just traditional puncture Andy's. Don't usually play Flurry, but the dashing got you hooked on BTI. I think for leveling and speed farming will be great. I don't really know what direction to really take Flurry quite yet. Because like from what I hear, people want to do like poison. But I feel like poison is really strong this coming season. But I also don't want to make or create 3 or 4 builds that are literally legit based around poison. Because then you're building it almost roughly the same. And it's just kind of like, oh, it's the same build except for they use that core skill instead of that core skill. And it's like, I don't know. Dot is the king. Save the statement. Don says damage over time is broken next season. Yeah. I mean, rogues will be able to do damage per Dark Shroud or whatever, which is much better to play around than like crowd, damage versus crowd control, unless that temper gets like messed up or whatever. Like, let's see, I guarantee you we're gonna go into season 5 and they're gonna have updated temper values just like they did in season 4, and we're all fucked again. Because we're gonna sit there and like build around certain tempers, and they're gonna be like, yeah, well, see about that. So I'm a little concerned about that too. I like the boss HP nerfs, at least in regards to high pits, no more clear to the boss for 4 or 5 minutes and then spend 10 minutes fighting the boss. I think unless they change some of the bosses though, and depending on the build that you play, I mean, you still might be fishing for the, at some point you're going to be fishing for the similar bosses unless they may change more, unless they made more changes to some of those bosses. But I think people will probably care less for high pit if Infernal Hordes are better. Like if Infernal Hordes, I'll put it this way. If the update to Infernal Hordes is better, then you'll probably see more people using that as a reference to your build power versus pits. Especially since you really can't really fish for the Inferno Horse. It's more static. I don't see Inferno Horse being a better way to farm it. Oh well, I mean, yeah, but then like I'm talking about high pit, high level pit, right? In which you're not doing for the mats at all, right? I'm just talking about in terms of like testing your class or your build's validity, I guess. Inferno Horde can be that thing over the pit because it's more static. Static in terms of like, I don't say static, but like you can't really fish. You can't fish the Inferno Horde. You see what I'm saying? You're forced to deal with the situations that you get. And there's really no timer per se. So it's can you do it or you can't? You know what I'm saying? And that, yeah. So like that's kind of like, that would be kind of interesting. I actually would prefer that over like high level pit, simply just because I'm really not looking forward to fishing bosses at some point. Because let's be honest, with the boss damage being lower, sure, but some builds you're still going to be fishing for those same bosses unless they make changes to them. And I'm not looking forward to that. Bliss Sapphire, what's going on? Is it Saphir or Sapphire? Saphir, Sapphire, Saphir? We're going to be able to go in and kill like Lord Zir at stuff at like level 60 and stuff. I mean, yeah, true. I only care about doing 150 pit on road for the achievement. That's fair. Inferno Hordes are just visions of Midi of D4. I'm really honest, to be honest with you, I'm really hoping the Inferno Horde is where I spend more of my time, you know, playing or, you know, seeing what my build can do per se, versus the pits. Although too, they also did adjust the pits progression. You have to kill more mobs to get to the boss, so you have to kind of do somewhat of a full clear instead of just kind of skipping from elite to elite, which, depending on how they retuned it again, I prefer over just the elite skipping, or, you know, just going from elite to elite. But we'll see how that ultimately plays out. Probably there is no changes to the other uniques, right? Oh no, there is. They just didn't put it on. They said that they were going to put it in the blog. They said that they forgot. I don't know how you forgot every single new unique though. To me, that sounds sus. Just gonna be honest. How'd you forget every single new unique? You didn't forget. Y'all did not forget. Don't play me. Y'all just didn't put it in there, and then y'all's gonna be like, yeah, they're not gonna care about that. And then y'all realize, oh, well, maybe. Oh, wait a minute, I messed something up. Sorry. There you go. Yeah, they did not forget. It was one of those things where it's just like, oh man, we did all this work, right? And it's like, do we really want to put the new uniques in? And it's like, nah, I don't want to do it. It'll be all right. They'll see it once it launch. And then they got pinged in the discords and the, you know, whatever, and, you know, social media and crap. And he's like, where are the new uniques at? And they're like, damn, we got to include them. All right, fine. I wonder if that crazy basic attack sword gets nerfed. So here's what I do know. Here's what I can tell you. That sword, crown, and the crimes, that amulet, all three of them are getting retuned. Retuned, quote unquote, let's be realistic, means it's a nerf. They're going to nerf those 3 items. By how much, we don't know. That is why we're kind of stuck in our build creation stuff. Let me ask you a question though. Rogues, how do y'all feel about the combination dagger? Like, yay or nay for combo point builds? Is it really strong for rapid fire? Do you mind do you mind explaining why? Do you feel like the stats on combination would be better than like having a traditional sword or dagger with the right stats and an aspect worth maybe 30% damage or so? And of course tempers. Cause like this, like the stats on that are very, very good. Lucky hit vulnerable is kind of trash. Not really. I actually kind of like that stat. It's a pretty easy way to get vulnerable without having to, let's say, do well, I guess you wouldn't do exploit anyways. End game rapid fire, as long as you go cold imbuement. But like if you don't go cold imbuement or something like that, then having this is pretty nice. So maybe that's why they forgot to include in the patch notes, because they forgot to make changes. I mean, no comment. No comment. Maybe, I don't know. Basic skill attack speed is better than rapid. So an aspect in itself. That's a very good point. Yeah. Okay. I can agree with that. Zoria, what's up, man? I just want to say everybody's thoughts on this, because this is one of those things where it's like, it's for the combo point, a damage per combo point be buffed to give 527% additive damage. Yeah, that's also true. So I assume that is a yay for most people. Just the stats alone, the basic attack speed at 25% for puncture is really good. Also makes Heartseeker better if you want to use that. I think seems solid overall, especially for any non-precision combo point build. Oh, because of the 1-1 ratio. That's right. Yeah, yeah. So anything that isn't precision based related, it with puncture, your base. I mean, you can legit just do 1-1, like a poison pen shot type thing. With crowd, damage versus crowd control, or actually damage per dark shroud, or or something like that. Like, this is what I think is like the best case scenario for the combination dagger. But I do think that like it's a little better, possibly, than like a regular sword with an aspect and the proper stats on it. I think it's pretty close. I would like this with Heartseeker, to be honest with you. Not Heartseeker the build, but like Heartseeker Rapid Fire in general. It'd been better if it had flavor for basic melee skills. They need help. Honestly, they buffed momentum. Has no one seen that? Like in the skills? Like they buffed momentum again. I don't know. I'm like I don't know where I'm at with this. Shoot. There it is. Yeah, so momentum gets 50% more damage here, and then they buffed Stolen Vigor to 45%. Yeah, and that's multiplic. Yeah, these are all multiplicative this way. The real Don John was going on. So yeah, I mean, I think melee is probably getting overlooked right now because not many people are talking about the new momentum change. Because you can do momentum and so yeah, you can do momentum, right? And you can do damage per Dark Shroud. You can do both. Because there's nothing that scales with momentum in terms of stats are concerned. Like you don't need it on like a anything specific on your bow, weapons, rings or like that, right? So like the Stolen Vigor here and the momentum change itself, like those are big. Damage per Dark Shroud sounds like it got nerfed. I'm thinking honestly that it got. I think the way that I looked at it was that do you remember that we got damage for free by just wearing Dark Shroud? Like by just having Dark Shroud up, we were getting damage for no reason, even without the temper. Remember that in the PTR? I'm assuming that's what they were talking about, but I could be wrong. Is it Papashno says temper? Were we getting a bigger amount than what the number said? Or are they just saying that they're nerfing the temper? Also, Sadran, appreciate the follow. This is me. Twisting Blades is really back. I mean, hard to say. I mean, Twisting Blades. So the thing about it is that Twisting Blades is in the okay place. Like, it's not bad, and with the new changes, it's definitely not bad at all. It's better than where it was. The thing about Rogue is that they have so many good like potentially S tier builds that it just kind of overshadows Twisting Blades. Even though Twisting Blades relative to other class builds is probably like really good, but because it's being compared to like Rapid Fire and Barrage and Andy's builds and potentially Heartseeker if they fix Victimize and Pen Shot if they fix Victimize, then it's like it's hard for Twisting Blades to really compete in that. Same thing with Flurry, but if you put Flurry and Twisting Blades versus other classes builds, then they look really good by comparison. But versus some of the Rogue stuff, it's hard to say. Nerf Rogue, in your opinion? I mean, we're about to see what the new uniques bring at some point. I don't know when they're gonna update it, but I'm assuming they're probably gonna put pictures and stuff like that, which might be what's taking them so long. But yeah, combination dagger assures. There's way too many good uniques right now that I don't see this getting much play. Sure, it's more attack speed, but man, like we're getting so much now. That is it more damn? Is it worth it to try to cap versus getting a huge aspect here and good tempers per se? I mean, attack speed is good. Don't get me wrong. Breakpoints, but is that breakpoint's damage worth a slot here? Like, I mean, what would you give up? Why did they nerf Lucky here? I don't know. Hell if I know, man. But yeah, all right. Well, looks like for most builds, combination daggers making the combat in some way. Scout Hunter definitely is. I'm not the biggest fan of the stutter step here, as much as I love 2 stutter step, but the stutter step passive here, I'm not the biggest fan of at all. Sorry, I actually missed what Zario said. But you said also both Flurry's aspects were buffed. They don't Flurry's. So people have to realize how bad Flurry was as a skill, and that even like the buffs that they did do, and more buffs they did, is better. Don't get me wrong, but people have to realize how bad it was. So the numbers look great, but you got to remember that Flurry was like at the bottom of the bottom. So like those numbers, while they look good, just makes it viable, I guess. For like a better word, it's probably like the best speed farmer for sure. With the teleport, like I don't see anything beating that for Helltide or Nightmare Dungeons or whatnot. Even possibly leveling. I'm gonna say, well, yeah, possibly even leveling. But like in terms of like an end game, it'll be good. It'll be like kind of where Twisting Blaze is, where it's like, oh, it's actually pretty good, but kind of stops there. Twisting Blaze is your favorite, but I haven't touched it since leveling. It feels too gutted without anything giving back. Yeah, they really destroyed the lucky hit on Twisting Blaze, honestly, in season 3. But I said, so Zara says, I don't know, either the patch notes is wrong and shouldn't have said temper, and it was just to fix the DS damage buff that you're referring to, or the Dark Shroud temper. But see, that's the thing though, like there was no other bug mentioned about, because I mean it was Dark Shroud was giving us a damage buff just for wearing it, just for having it up, like without the temper. So like that has to be addressed too, right? Like that's why I just assumed that was the case. But that my dog side Eaglehorn is not copium anymore, I think it is. Let's talk about the Eaglehorn now. I think it is. Like my issue with this is here. Like this is my issue with the Eaglehorn. For one, we don't know if Victimize is fixed or not. If they don't fix Victimize, this is dead on. This is dead on arrival. Like there's no reason to use it. Unfortunately, there's just no reason to use this. Now, if they do fix Victimize, it still depends on the content, because every 4th cast, bouncing off of walls, maybe the Infernal Horde, if the outside of the arenas are considered walls and not open space, you can strategically pull things to like the side of the the arena or whatever, and like on the fourth cast you will bounce that penetration shot to try to hit as many mobs as you can. So you can strategically do stuff like that, but you got to remember that's very situational. And even if you do that, understand that every fourth cast, even at 150%, if you get the max, you're dealing overall, if you bounce every time, if that bounce actually happens and hits one enemy when it bounces, you're doing 37.5% more damage. Unless you can get like an additional bounce to come back and hit the same target, then you're looking at 70 no, sorry. Well, you would just essentially double that. But if you can get one bounce to hit the targets you want at 150%, it's a 37.5% buff overall. You say, but don't need the bounce to do the extra damage? But I mean, that still would be the same case though. So you still end up with 37.5% damage overall. So you're looking at, you got aspects that are in the enhanced, it's just 25% free cast. Would that work? Does that work with the fourth cast or with the fourth cast of penetrating shot though? Just that's kind of like a proc based. Like, will the proc work with the unique affix? Don't get me wrong, the stats are good. Like, the stats are very good on the Eagle Horn. This right here just feels very like if there was kind of like a inner sight pin shot or something, this would feel better in my opinion. But like every fourth shot though, like, and the fact that most places you're going to be fighting don't really have consistent walls for you to continue to bounce things off of, I just don't know. I really don't know about Eagle Horn, man. And if victimize isn't fixed, then we have a dead stat for an implicit. And well, I guess malice would be fine because it's still multiplicative. But yeah, you have a dead and you'll have a dead implicit. Not that you really care about the implicit anyways, but I mean still, like, it'd be nice if that was actually useful. The problem with TB and Flurry is tempering concept, since there's no offensive tempering about those. That's also very true, Sato. That's also very true. I do like Flurry size though. Flurry size, I remember using Flurry size on season 4 PTR, and I mean it was actually bigger on PTR. Like, I was able to like hit things for like I was able to like make it big enough to like nearly cover the screen. So I was hitting almost everything, and that I could see in the screen before the zoom out. It was actually quite fun. But yeah, I mean, the thing about it is that if there were more walls, consistently more walls, then this unique affix would be pretty godlike. If there were more walls, if there were more tight areas in a sense, which in reality, in most cases as a rogue, you really don't want to be in tight areas, but for this unique, you do. So I don't know. I'm not sold on the unique affix. The stats are great, unique affix, and also the implicit may not be of any value because Victimize may or may not be, a fix. So I don't know. I'm not. I'm. This is like kind of a TBD. We'll see what Mippy tends to or ends up doing with this for the pen shot build on Maxroll. There's no point of comparison with the double attack chance. Well, I mean, you could still do that on like a regular bow, right? With an aspect that would probably end up being more damage than the whatchamacallit. But the ranks of pin shot is very, very good. I guess what you're looking at would be attack speed versus like dexterity, penetrating shot ranks versus what vulnerable damage if you're doing victimize, or God forbid you do precision, which I don't think is a good idea on pin shot. Crit damage, the projectile whatever stuff is the exact same thing as if you were tempering. So you get one more affix, So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like they can. I feel like if they would have made like maybe every third cast or something, that would be more enticing. Plus 6 to GA pin shot goes with plus 10 pin shot ranks. Also just depends too. I mean, if you got like a Shaco too, then you start running into some diminishing returns with how many ranks to a skill you get. Ranks to skill is still good, but I mean, past a certain point, you start not a certain point, but there's always diminishing returns on every rank that you get. So like you have to kind of take that into consideration versus whatever stats you could have gotten if it wasn't a unique. But I get what you're saying. I do get what you're saying. Again, on the fence, we'll totally see versus like maybe a crossbow. Because keep in mind, you're probably doing puncture with pen shot most likely. So a crossbow will just naturally hit like 20% harder, and you're not losing any attacks. So like you got like these. There's just things to think about with that. It's we'll see. I think it could just be every cast with a lower modifier would be more fun. I agree, Panda. I agree. Like 10,000%. Because like, here's the thing too as well. Like every fourth cast, what if that fourth cast is like wasted on like a elite that has like 20% health left, right? And then it's like, oh well, there goes my fourth cast. And then now you're grouping up stuff and you're fighting, and you got your 3 casts or whatever, and then like you're left with 2 trash mobs left, and then your fourth cast is that overkilling that like poor skeleton guy who has no defense and only has 2% health left, and you're just like, well damn. It's like, bro, I mean, why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that on the fourth cast? You see what I'm saying? That's why I really don't like these like every fourth cast type things, because you just don't know. Like you don't know, you can't really control when you're gonna be able to get that fourth cast to really do ridiculous damage on. I think in front of hordes, again, if you can bounce off the arena and the outsides and in front of hordes, I think this is pretty good. Like borderline really, really good if you can bring mobs to the one edge of the arena and like do some like bounce play, which would be pretty cool to do. But you're talking about Helltide, Nightmare Dungeons, Pit, like I almost feel like this would be really good in a potentially situational situation. But I just don't like the whole like every fourth cast thing. I think maybe I'm being biased against it. I don't know. And that's fair. Or maybe I'm being unfair to the Eagle Horn, but I don't know. Wind Force. We didn't talk about that. Wind Force. That's because we've already seen it before. Yeah, so now that we've seen the Sky Hunter, what do you now that we've seen Sky Hunter, what do you guys think of the Wind Force? What's your thought? What's your guys' thoughts on Wind Force? Maybe you could synergize the force shot with Beast Fall or something for a Giga Shot. That's actually a good point. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. That'd be good for some like high pit, like super high pit um situations. Yeah, that could yeah, you can do that. But think of all the wallers that could die from all the bouncing. Oh, you mean like the wall? Oh, okay, like you mean at least with wallers or whatever. I mean that'd be great. Actually, yeah, that would. Yeah, I guess so. You said Wind Force looks good. So here's the real question: would how many people and in what situations would you use Wind Force over Sky Hunter with Barrage? What do y'all think? Is there? They said the explosion damage to victimized has been increased by 50% to compensate for a bug. No, that was on the PTR. That's not new. Like that's in white letters. Like if it's written in white, that was already in the PTR. So that was already in the PTR and it was still bugged. Like they no, it was bugged in a different way, not still bugged, but bugged in a different way. Bugged in the way that it used to be bugged, which was bad, like really bad for victimized. How many times can you knock him down? As often as you want, really. I think for like Force or Arrow, I mean, well, Force or Arrow on trash mobs, you can knock down as much as you want. If you knock enemies into an elite with Force or Arrow, I've never, I've never have made an elite unstoppable by doing that with Force for Arrow. I don't know if that works differently than a knockdown from a unique affix or a legendary affix. I don't know. I see people saying when Force is good now. Uh, 130% damage through crowd control. That's an okay amount. Meltis, what's going on? In the case that I'm not using precision, yeah, fair. But then the thing about it is that even if you're not using precision, what would you do with this? Because the unique affix doesn't work with like poison skills. Because like damage stuff like this doesn't work with like poison imbuement. So I mean the stats were good. Like the stats would work, right? I mean all these the stats are fine, right? And the damage to crowd control will work, but the unique affix won't work with poison imbue. So the one thing you probably would want to do with like a poison barrage doesn't work. I'm assuming it doesn't work because unique damage like this generally doesn't work. Like um edge masters, like those kind of things just don't really work with poison imbuement. But if this worked with poison imbuement, then done deal. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm using Wind Force. But because it doesn't, I mean, it's probably better to do something else like if anything else really. Corruption, um um I mean, you could just use it with precision until you get a Skyhunter. Oh man. So I guess that's just my thought here. I think that that's kind of what they were trying to do with the damage versus crowd control enemies or whatever, close quarters combat sort of type ordeal thing. But I mean, generally speaking, the only really true way to make close quarters combat stuff work well is with a dot build, a poison build. Outside of that, it's kind of weak outside of it. So the only way to really make CQC work is poison builds, really. And this don't do anything for it. So I'm kind of saddened for Windforest, because when I first saw it, I'm like, hey, this actually might be pretty good for, like, let's say precision or whatever. And then Skyhunter came out and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, about that. It's like about that. I went and had coffee today with the D3 Elite, and he buffed you. Buff your wallet. I guess notice it requires level 50. Did they mention that? No. But it dropped from 68 to 50. So maybe that's the thing. We just play Windforce until we get the Skyhunter, which might be level 60. Is it? Actually, no. Let's see. No, it's level 50. Never mind. Then never mind. Be 55 minimum. Yeah, it says 50. Yeah. Question: am I going to update my Heartseeker build for season 5 as well? No, I'm not updating any of my builds for season 5. It's gonna all be the season 4 stuff going into season 5. So yeah, good luck. Good luck on the Maxroll Rapid Fire, Barrage, and Andes and Heartseeker guides and Flurry guides, I guess. Damn, I got 5 guides. I just realized that. Oh, this is gonna be a rough weekend. And I'm gonna be like under like I'm gonna be under a magnifying glass, because Barrage and Rapid Fire are probably gonna be the most likely the top 2 most played, or at least most looked at the start. So yeah, until we see other builds kind of come into play. But not if I'm going to be updating Heartseeker. I just don't know if Victimize is going to get fixed. That's the thought. If it doesn't get fixed, then I have to build Heartseeker a different way, and it's probably not going to be as much fun. I don't think it's going to be as effective. It just depends on Crown and Umbrux and that kind of sort of thing. But I mean, I can make a hard hitting Heartseeker. I just don't know how to really get the AoE necessary. Because Victimize will be nerfed. So I don't know how to really get the AoE necessary to kind of make it a decent clearing kind of skill. Sure, I can probably, plop in Pen Gorgers for some help there. I can probably do Shadow Imbuement. If I'm doing damage per Dark Shroud, Shadow Imbuement will actually be buffed pretty nicely because of it. So there are some thoughts that I've kind of, thought about and was like, we might can work around this maybe, but and then there's also the sword with the totem, right? So the totem can also help with some AoE. So we'll see. I think there's some options. I just don't think it'll be as strong as like what a Victimize. I'll say I don't think. I know it won't be as strong as, like, let's say a Victimize setup, but I don't think it will be dead. How about Fit and Dario for AoE on Heartseeker? I mean, yeah, but then it just becomes a budget puncture Andes. And it's like, well, why not just do puncture instead? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't make, you know what I'm saying? So I would just build it just like I would a traditional Andes build, because why not at that point? It's known as a GR, Guide Rebuilder. I have to speed run the guides. Each new guide in under 3 minutes used to beat your previous record. The Cyphus, just do patch. There you go. Number crust isn't the basic attack where it's this totem. Oh, that's right. That's right. So yeah, you're right. But yeah, so like, yeah, but yeah, if we can do the totem might be good enough. AoE. I mean, you're only splitting like 30% of your damage though on the Heartseeker to surrounding things. So I don't know. If you can get 2 totems up, maybe 60%. But again, same thing. I don't know. Rodin, what's going on? Appreciate the follow. So I guess maybe that and Shadow Imbue would help with some clearing power, I guess, for Heartseeker. I have to really dig into it though. I'm planning on using the totem for Barrage. I think almost every build, I can't imagine not using the totem for almost any of the builds right now. Like all of the rogue weapon slots are just going to be uniques. You're going to do Sky Hunter, right? You're going to do Sky Hunter, combination dagger if you're doing combo points, most likely. Then you got the totem, right? That's basically going to be your 3 uniques for almost every combo point build. And then the Starless Skies, and then that's 4 uniques, three uniques and the Uber unique. And then you either going to do Shaco or Crown, depending on how good Crown still is. My first thought when I started Rogue was, what has the Oxide said about? And Dario Flurry will be so much fun. That's the thing though. Like I'm just afraid. I think when it comes to Flurry though, like I don't know how I want to build Flurry for Maxroll. Because technically speaking, poison is the best route. And so it's the same thing with Twisting Blades. So is the same thing, you know, for Endario Puncture, I guess. Is so like, I don't know if I just want to mimic what Twisting Blades is doing, but on Flurry. I mean, I kind of feel like we're doing that already with Rapid Fire and Barrage, right? Both of them are going to be relatively similar to each other with very similar uniques and overlaps or whatever. If you're doing combo point, which is why I'm thinking to myself, like, do I attempt an inner sight version of Barrage to make it somewhat different than the Rapid Fire? Because you can't do inner sight Rapid Fire. It's just not going to work out that way. So it's like with Barrage, it makes sense. Even though it'll be weaker than the combo point variant, but at least it'll play different. You know, otherwise it'll just be, oh, you're just playing Rapid Fire but with Barrage and no Scoundrel's Kiss. Like, that's kind of really it. Like, that's kind of, I won't say it's boring, but so season 2 Twisting Blades? No. Do we have any news about the 300% new sword? Any tuning? Well, that's what I meant. I meant to say that. So like the sword, the crit amulet, Lokran, and the crown, all 3 of those are getting nerfed or getting, retuned from what the dev said. We just don't know what the new values are yet. So I would suspect that it's not going to be 300% for basic attacks. I'm just going to put that out there now. The crown, I suspect that we're not going to be able to ramp up that much damage, or if we can, it will be less. It'll be harder to maintain the crown in some way. Maybe, I don't know. And then the amulet, it just depends. If you named the inner sight skill back in the 70s, it would have been called out of sight dynamite. Electro. Says Shaco versus Crown. Yeah, Shaco's really good. Like, Shaco got a really pretty massive buff, more so in the sense of cooldown reduction, as well as having armor on it. That actually helps because you can it didn't have armor on it before, so that's kind of big for armor capping. Scoundrels leathers. I'm really for inner sight related stuff, which I feel like you're gonna die massive, like, horrible deaths, honestly, if you're not taking Tyrio's Might or a Dark Shroud chest. But on an inner sight build, this inner sight duration is actually quite interesting. This is probably like the most interesting stat on this that they changed. I actually really like that they put inner sight duration on it. That's actually pretty major. I actually do think you can probably do something kind of cool with this, believe it or not. I think it's one of those things where, like, you're kind of done messing around with like some of the meta stuff, and you're just like, let me pull this out and see what I can do. Also, depending on if they remove some of the ICDs of certain traps spawning. I know that in PTR, the traps, they changed the ICD of some of the traps. So, like, you don't always get poison trap all the time. Or like 90% of the time, and then 5% of the time death trap, and 5% of the time cow traps. They actually, like, allowed other traps to spawn in the PTR. So that was actually kind of cool. And made it feel better. But that's cool. We just need like a core skills temper though, and this would be like baller. People is worried about losing resource regen on Shaco. Really? I mean, you're gonna be running Starless Skies anyway. Like, not only that, but like on Rogue, you're running Scout Hunter, you don't care about resources anyway. I don't think Rogue even cared about resource on the Shaco anyway, except for maybe like a Barrage, like a spam Barrage build or something like that. But even then, you were mostly fine because people did Andy's Barrage, right? So no Shaco was involved. No one cared about the resource on the Shaco. Well, on the Rogue side of things. It's the Stone Mage that good evening that doc said you're actually an unsung genius. You deserve credit for that. Wait, credit for what? What I do? No, seriously, like what I do. I haven't done anything yet. Trying to think of what else is kind of useful. Cal the Nameless is pretty neat. Plus 2 the trick attacks is actually quite good. Also, Unstable Elixirs is pretty good too as well. And 40%. It's actually quite good. But I think also on Rogue though, man. On Rogue, I think we have less of a need for lucky hit this season than before, especially if Victimize doesn't get fixed. Right? So I feel like rogues have less of a reason to need lucky hit unless you're playing Andardios. And if you're doing that, you're doing puncture and of course Andario conflicts with Kyle the Nameless because you can't wear both. So I mean, I think it's a good helm now. It's just that the helm slot is very contested. Exactly, but you do get maximum resource. You mean on the Shaco? I mean on the Shaco, I still don't care about that. You know what I think is a pretty like a hidden gem. I really think this ring is better than people may let on, especially now that the effect is now treated as a trap skill. So like trap effects, now work with the decoy. And also trap damage also works with the decoy, which is why we have the trap damage here. They also buff the damage of trickery as well. For those who don't know, for fun, back in season 4 PTR, I would run around and World Tier 4 and one shot with the decoy. Now granted, this was like Helltide and like in somewhat mid-level Nightmare Dungeons or whatever. But like, and I don't know. I had like I think I had like a precision build at the time. I think I was running Barrage, and I was doing like a precision build on Barrage. And so like nothing that really buffs the shadow damage of whatever. But I remember just using the ring just for fun. And legit, the shadow clone at the time with no investment into this, the clone is, or the decoy itself was one-shotting trash in World Tier 4. And I was like, oh, okay. It's actually a little better than I thought. I mean, I think it was like doing 3 to 4 million damage or something like that when it popped, when it crit, because it can crit. Yeah, it popped, and I was like, oh, okay, that actually isn't that bad. Granted, obviously you have a 6-second cooldown like that, but the fact that it's considered a trap skill and they buffed the whatchamacallit, and you can do some things like, obviously damage per Dark Shroud, but whatever, and some other stuff. You could actually really make the decoy like hit for some pretty decent damage on a cooldown, obviously. But I mean, that's some pretty decent AoE damage you can kind of like build for. So obviously I think most regular unique rings will be better in most situations anyway, but this is a really cool side thing that you can kind of build around and be like, yo, how much damage, what situations can I one shot with the decoy? Because you'd be able to do it with this even against elites and World Tier 4 open world especially. You can do it in Nightmare Dungeon content, like probably tier 100 Nightmare Dungeons. You can one shot with this with the decoy. So I'd be curious to see how well this can scale. More so for fun, but it could be something to fill the gap. For Road and QQs, that why does it seem like they took plus life off so many items? Because they're giving you damage, a lot of damage. They want you to have to make a choice and a sacrifice. If all these uniques also have a ton of damage and they have maximum life, then it's kind of like, oh, well, we're giving you damage with no with no sacrifice in a sense. So it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they're good, but is it worth it type ordeal? Like, you know, can you fit in these uniques and still be able to survive, or will you want to take a different unique or just make that just a regular legendary because you just can't survive because you don't have a life, right? So I actually think that that's a good change. Well, that's good, because then obviously you would never even consider a legendary aspect in most slots if it also had max life. Donovan, what's going on? Just tuning in. I didn't see any mention of them fixing, them breaking, victimizing the PTR. I didn't see that either. I'm a little concerned that hasn't been discussed. I may miss a bit. Is Word of Hakan decent now? I think it's okay. The biggest thing I think, honestly, is not even the random arrows waves cast twice. In my opinion, I think it's the cooldown reduction as well as the receives your arrow storm benefits, which could really kind of make random arrows kind of interesting. I'm actually wondering. So here's my thought. So rain of arrows is considered a marksman skill, right? Is that correct? So I wonder if this actually works. Marksman's projectiles. Because is rain of arrows considered a projectile? It's considered a marksman skill. So we know that it's a marksman skill. But does this give the chance of rain of arrows to cast again? Not that it matters too much, because if you masterwork the Word of Hakan, you should be able to get, you know, 100% chance to cast basically. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. So rain of arrows would be better. I still don't think you can really make a rain of arrows build that's primarily based on rain of arrow damage, but I think you can probably do a really cool utility semi spam of it, where like you can continue to knock down enemies and apply all the imbuements, you know, like maybe every 4 seconds or so, if you can get enough cooldown to do it. You do this and, like, let's say a Shaco and get, you know, massive cooldown reduction there, and some other stuff. You can probably get rain of arrows down to about 4 to 5 seconds. So like maybe you can do that and like use it as a really neat utility type ordeal thing. But the problem is that is that utility worth losing in an amulet slot? That's the hard part. Is the, you know, utility rain of arrows enough to lose passives on an amulet? That's the problem, because passives in the amulet are very strong, and passives are multiplicative. So like amulets are like one of the most important in-game gear pieces, period. So if the Word of Hakan, if that was not an amulet but a ring, then probably. But because it's an amulet, that just makes it very difficult to truly build around. Grass, what's going on? When I think about life on hit instead of life steal on Andarios. so many builds right now have multiple ways to be able to heal that no one cared about the lifesteal anymore on the Andariels, to be honest with you. People just didn't care anymore. So like it being life on hit instead of lifesteal, I don't really think really matters at the end of the day. I do think that multiple like skills that can hit multiple times would benefit more from life on hit than life percent anyways. So in some cases that's a buff, in other cases it's a nerf. It just depends. But yeah, if you mash Router Condoras to the previous ring that you're looking, is it going to be a lot more fun? Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'll look for it later. But yeah, I mean, yeah. What am I looking for now? Yeah. So Skunger's Kiss got buff. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. It's still lobs. So I'm still gonna be salty about the fact that it's still lobs, but Rapid Fire felt a lot better on the PTR in general. So I have no complaints. They just gave it Rapid Fire projectiles just cuz, and then crit chance on the enhanced Rapid Fire bonus, which is actually a really cool. That's a cool effects. That's cool. And they, for whatever strange reason, buffed the Rapid Fire unique damage. Don't think it needed it, but hey, okay, sure, why not? And of course, we saw this already. This is not new or anything. But the fact that it went from Flurry to any core skills is great there. I mean, pretty much that's kind of all I got until they update the other uniques, the new uniques, so I can kind of see what they are. So what are her kind of stuff like Icy, Toxic Alchemist would be a fun build that can't do anything other than maybe proc things, but Fist of Fit and building cooldown. Yeah, that'd be fun. Rapid Fire is S tier, so it's gonna be so good. Yeah, Rapid Fire, Barrage, Andes, of course. Depending on Victimize being fixed or not, Heartseeker and Pen Shot. That'd be 5 builds basically. An S tier for Rogue if Victimize is fixed. If not, we're looking at 3 S tier builds. Also depending on some of the unique app exchanges. So dang, did I open up so many tabs? Oh. All right, I guess it's time to at least maybe play around with some planner stuff. I kind of can't do much. But I mean, I guess we can make the attempt to look at things. So yeah, I guess let's pull out the planner. I don't even want to do anything with Heartseeker right now. Yeah, we'll start with the obvious, which is Rapid Fire. Actually, wait a minute. This is weird. I don't think I actually did much with this at all. This is like even for PTR, this is old. Is candy control, combat, fluidity. Oh yeah, I removed chip because of. Actually, I probably would want chip back. So all the freaking uniques we're gonna be having. All right. What does Maxroll? So what does Maxroll have those bills? Well, we don't know yet because we don't have the new uniques yet. So, and we haven't discussed it. We haven't had a meeting to discuss where things are going to end up. So, yeah, Smokey, what's up, man? He said, I'm still processing the change myself, but my gut takeaway is that the Blizzard team was trying to lean heavily into ultimate skills with this rework, but I think they have not really addressed the root cause of the ultimate problems that was that they just don't do enough damage to be worth the slot in the skill bar. They add a lot of adamant damage to the ultimate, but that doesn't feel like the answer to you. I agree. If anything, they really should have did something with preparation. They would have made preparation better in some way. Then we could definitely see something different there. But because they did not, then well. It gets 15% DR now. Yeah, but I mean, I think in the sense of being like viable in like a more offensive way, it's not. But yeah, the DR does help, especially now, I guess, considering lacking a lot of things. By the way, I meant to say, this. I forgot to mention this part. So there's something on the Skyhunter that I didn't mention. That I think is kind of overlooked a little bit. So I know that I was very, I won't say stubborn, but I was very attempting to try to at least keep around somewhat of a range style for rapid fire. So the main build still had Heartseeker as a basic attack, but I did make a puncture variation. 99% of players played it that way. But I, still had a Heartseeker variation. This, with the update of Skyhunter, and the fact that we are using a bow again, Heartseeker as a basic attack, or even Forceware as a basic attack, is actually like an actual viable choice now. Like a realistically, almost as good as puncture type choice now. I actually think Heartseeker could potentially be slightly better than puncture on like single target. And the reason why I say that is because of the marksman projectiles to cast twice. So if you think about it on a skill tree, right? Remember the one rune we can never use on Heartseeker? Remember this rune, Fundamental Heartseeker? But because now we get 2 casts, and it'll be easy to proc precision because we got Skyhunter. So we're pretty much are guaranteed to pretty much get the 3-to-1 ratio, right? That means there's no reason to take primary Heartseeker anymore. Like Fundamental Heartseeker is actually a thing. So now we're gonna get, if you do Heartseeker, you can actually go for Fundamental for the first time and gain a 50% or 15% crit damage buff that's multiplicative. So you're basically getting half an aspect by taking this. So this makes Heartseeker this actually gives Heartseeker some value, but only with the Skyhunter now. So I think that's actually pretty cool. How's Heartseeker looking for season 5? Don't know yet because I don't know if they fixed Victimize from the unfortunately broken version on a PTR. So yeah, so now I think I can actually recommend Heartseeker and not feel bad about it. Whereas like, oh, you're memeing now. It's like, no, I'm not. on the boss technically, especially since you don't have to get close, right? On the boss, Heartseeker basic attack might actually be more efficient and more damage than the puncture variation. So, I mean, ooh, no rapid fire builds. I'm gonna start with rapid fire because it's pretty much gonna be like, I'm gonna say gonna be. It's one of Rogue's top builds going into next season. I'm gonna update obviously all the builds, but I'm gonna start with rapid fire. We don't have the updated uniques or whatever right now, so hate the animation. It feels a little bit better on PTR though. It does. I will give it that. But I'm with you though. I don't like the lob effect, so I mean I'm with you on that aspect. So here's the problem. I got to figure out multiple variations because not everybody is going to be running around with Ethereal's Might and the Starless Skies and the, you know, maybe a Shaco or Crown or whatever. Like, we're not going to be running around with all this stuff. Crown won't be that hard to get. The regular new unique quote unquote. But Ethereal's Might and Starless are going to be kind of quite interesting to try to tackle and get. So, Terrence, what's going on? Do you think there will be an effective pin RF build? No. No. There's no reason to do pin shot for AoE and rapid fire for a single target when rapid fire can also do AoE now. That's why. And pin shot single target is actually not that bad if victimized is not broken. So it's like there's no reason to ever mix the two again. I'm super nervous about starting college in a few weeks, bro. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be a lot of work. Definitely different than high school. But it's gonna be a quite an experience that you're going to enjoy. So I guess we'll do Combination Dagger. I was on the fence on whether I want to do that or a regular sword, but I don't disagree with chat. Why they feel like it's good. So we'll I think it's good too. Just didn't really do the math on that versus a regular sword. Also, they made some changes to aspects too, which we didn't really see either. So you're freaking out right now. People are going to be chill in college. I mean, I mean, you're talking about a bunch of other 18, 19, 20, 21 year olds. There's going to be a lot of stupid happening. I mean, it's college. It's to be expected. But I mean, but I mean, you will meet, you know, quite a few friends and or whatnot, and have yourself a blast. But just make sure that you know, stay on task for the things you know need to do going forward. But you know, participate in as much stupid as you possibly can. Just make sure that anything that you do that is be considered stupid doesn't put you in jail or have you impregnating some other. As long as you don't do those two things, free reign, man. But yeah, you'll be fine, be fine. But you will notice that your workload would be a lot harder than it was in high school. So balance is key. Your first courses have nothing to do with your major. Yep, that's normal. Smokey, you said that's an interesting problem. Actually, your primary customer base is probably not those who even watch the stream. We need something for the masses. Oh, sorry, I think I missed something. I won't lie, when they said they're going wild with these updates, I dare to dream that they would do something that Barrage work effectively at range, or maybe something like scaling on Shadow and View to bring it to end game. I feel silly now though, but who knows? Still more items to come. Um, I mean, they did kind of go wild with some things. Not gonna lie, I think it's hard to really process it all right now. We're trying, as content creators, we're trying to kind of go over everything and kind of give our input, and we're saying, okay, this might happen, this may be this way, or but there are combinations that obviously I'm sure we've all overlooked, and are continuing to overlook. Just don't see them in faces right now. Also, we don't know what things are going to be bugged or not, because let's be honest, we're going to run into some bug stuff. So the reality is, what's going to be bugged, what's not going to be bugged, right? We don't know. So like some bug thing will come up and we'll be like, it'll just ruin all of our theory craft and be like, oh well, this is the better way to do it because this thing is bugged. All right, I guess that's the route we go, right? So it's just like we yeah, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I'm hoping that isn't the case, but let's be realistic here. That's kind of how it's been every season. So yeah, but yeah, your primary customer base is probably not even those who watch the stream. You need something for the masses. I'm still trying to figure out what I said that made you actually say that comment. I'm interested in what that referred to, but I read up and I don't know what that refers to. I said that when you're talking about how you need to come up with builds without. Oh, wait, are you crafty? There's a guy named Crafty with like the same numbers or letters after the name or whatever. I thought maybe that was you. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah, making the build out of Ubers, yeah. So like, yeah, you're right. So like, so yeah, you're right. So like, that's the thing. So like, I forgot I did say that. Yeah. So like, you're yeah. So the thing is that because there are so many uniques now and so many Uber uniques that are going to be part of a lot of builds now, we, especially at Maxroll, like we can't assume that people are going to be able to get these quickly. Even though they buff mystic unique drops, we still can't assume that the average person is going to actually find one easily. I'll put it that way. Like being able to craft one is one thing, but if a build has 2 or 3 of them in there, it's like, okay, kind of thing. So yeah, so I gotta do like a like a end game setup, because otherwise I'll get chewed out by those who actually theory craft and be like, hey, why are you missing 1.2% such and such on this particular thing, right? So I gotta do it for like the ultra min maxers, but the reality is I need to make a setup that's feasible for the masses, so that are, something that can actually be obtainable for most players, right? I mean, I know we got all these uniques, and depending on where you farm, like these uniques, even like a bad version of these are obtainable and will work. So in reality, I think uniques are probably easier to get or to get going on a build, because you can target farm and you don't have to worry about tempering or breaking a unique per se, right? But when you get to the uber uniques though, you got an issue. Lucas, what's going on? That you don't just get to make one version of ultra, right? Exactly. Yeah. We're gonna yeah, there's really no room for like any aspects now because everything is unique now, right? We got the sword. Tom says, didn't Rogue have a totem unique? Yeah. The Umber Crux right here is the totem one. Yeah, so that's a totem one. So, speaking of which, this is still the verdict is out. It's still out on this one because we don't know if this is getting nerfed or not. I can tell you that any bugs related with the totem is getting fixed, but like we don't know if like anything else is gonna work the way it's supposed to or not. So, like this would be worth like, so the totem more so than anything else is just really good on the boss. That's kind of why, because it doesn't care about crowd control stuff. So anything that hits the totem and spreads is spreading the damage that isn't crowd control based. Even though you're getting the crowd control multipliers, but because it's hitting the totem and the totem is hitting the boss and the totem damage is not considered crowd control on the boss, then it's actually really good on bosses. I think against regular elites and trash is only kind of okay on, like, let's say a combo point rapid fire barrage build in a sense. I think the totem is extremely good for like barrage because barrage struggles on single target, but on rapid fire it's kind of a toss up. I guess depends. Also, if you can also keep 2 totems up too, like at the same time. So at the end of the day, most people just need to clear the battle pass and season achievements and call it good. And I guess that means the milestone is probably a Lilith kill. Yeah, pretty much. With the final patch notes, do you think there's going to be a season 5 tier list ready before season start? We're gonna try. Yeah, I mean we do it every season. Every season we do make a tier list. So yeah. Well, we do a tier list before the season comes out every season. So the answer to that is yes. We don't know how accurate that's going to be because there's no way to know everything that's going to happen in season 5 or whatever. Just like every season. So obviously there'll be changes when the season actually hits and we actually know what builds are doing and what's bugged and what's not. Let's be real. Yeah. Okay, so trying to look at my setup and stuff and see what I see here. Or I guess too many new items and unique changes that are probably not ready. I mean, like I said, we'll do the best we can as when we actually get the new unique changes. You're a blaster, but I also just copy because I appreciate all the work the Maxroll team does for every class. Thanks, man. We're gonna have a really busy weekend. We have a lot. We have a lot to update very, very quickly. So my weekend is basically literally sitting behind a computer on the back end of Maxroll updating builds. There's more unique changes coming besides what we dropped today. They didn't show the new uniques changes because you know how we got new uniques in the PTR. Well, they're making changes to those new uniques, especially the ones that were like incredibly OP. So we just don't know what the new values of those are, and that makes it difficult to do planners right now because we don't know what the values of those are. So that's why like we're trying to kind of sort of do something, but we just don't know how much we can get done until we have more information. I'm trying to think now. I think expectant will probably still be like one of the strongest to have here. Expectant. What's not a damage related aspect? Because now we have more uniques, we have less slots for stuff. So we would need I just realized something. I might need to make new versions, otherwise I screw up other things in my planners. Okay. Let's go back to, what was this? Accelerating. So I'm going to make a clone of this and then change it to expectant before I screw up stuff. Expectant, clone this. I really don't even know what I want here though. I mean, I guess Edgemaster would be great. It's already got, I won't say great, but good. That'd be decent, I guess. I think because it's difficult to get. No, it's really not. I need to clone this though and do Umbris here. Need to clone this and make this actually, you know what? Instead of this, cold clip. Because I could do Edge Masters, but cold clip will always, I will always have that damage up. Well, except for bosses though. The Edge Masters would be kind of weird given I'm going crown. If I go crown, there's still a verdict on that depending on the nerf. But cold clip will actually be pretty nice to have. Cold clip wasn't working with Eldritch Bounty on PTR. Did it fix it? I don't know. Is it in the bug fix in the bug fixes in the patch or no? I don't remember seeing it, but I don't know. Okay. Okay. Even if cold clip doesn't work with Eldritch Bounty, if you're doing a combo point build, that wouldn't matter. Because you'll be imbuing rapid fire anyways. But I mean, I guess it'd be nice to have it work on the basic attack. I guess for Heartseeker that would be kind of interesting because then you wouldn't be able to get the Eldritch Bounty legendary node. Like you wouldn't be able to use that. A Heartseeker build, like specifically Heartseeker. So I guess that is a good question to ask. I might send a message their way and ask that very specific thing. So now that I did these things, do I want Frostbitten still in the boots or do I want something different? So what we don't need is all res. Anywhere, really, honestly. We do need to cap our armor though. I'm almost just thinking about just putting the Shaco here, and to be honest. I guess have a feeling that the crown is just gonna get gutted. And Shaco is really good. Considering the Shaco would be really good for the totem for Smoke Grenade, especially, so I can actually cast more often without having to try to fit in like another subterfuge skill. Get multiple totems. So utility wise, the Shaco probably makes more sense. But this is why we need to know. This is why we need to know in the patch notes. Rough. I got a question for you. I have that question. I got a question in general. Does this work with shoot, can't think of the name of that aspect anymore. What's that puncture aspect? I can't. I for some reason is drawn a blank. Stupid medication. Hot GG, what's going on? Have I been all right? I've been doing all right. Mostly okay, I guess. That's the points. Yeah. Does that work with this? Like, can I get both? Is that possible? Okay, that's pretty cool. Honestly, hard to put anything else other than Shaco in the helmet slot. Well, I mean, again, if the crown is as good as well, the crown won't be as good as what it is right now, but like, I mean, honestly speaking, I mean, I know most people don't like sports card who play games, but I want to hook you up. I started a card company. You want to do a giveaway? You can do some PSA slabs right now. I probably won't be able to do anything now, just or probably like anytime. I'm gonna say anytime soon, but like this weekend is gonna be extremely busy with updating Maxroll guys and stuff like that. On the back end. If you would have caught me like earlier this week, it would have been a lot easier to kind of like stuff like that. But hit me up in my DM, by the way. Like just DM me more details pertaining to that. that cooldown reduction is kind of insane with the armor rolling. It is, but like I said, I just don't know. But if I build Shaco, then of course that's gonna change the way I build other stuff. So, but I almost think that because we don't have a lot of damage reduction and a lot of health, really, we're kind of running pretty skimpy on the health side of things. That Shaco might just make more sense in general. She broke up with you? Oh man. Okay. Oh, one got deleted. Oh, I see. Yeah, just hit me up in DMs, man. Okay. So I guess I got most what I want to do here. At least the super version of this, right? Um, I'm just still kind of on the fence about this. Actually, I wouldn't even know if I'd be on the fence about Starlight. I mean, you can kind of keep up the buff, kind of, I guess. There's a stacking buff, the core skill damage. Like, it's gonna be insane how much ranks to rapid fire you're gonna be able to get. Because if you do like the press, of course, the glove, um, Starless Skies, the new Starless Skies, Angel's Kiss. That's 4 places to get plus ranks. That's just stupid. Where can we find the Uber reworks? Hit do s should be under patch notes. So if you do that, you'll get this link here, and then you just go to the blog. And you can see all the Uber unique changes, or Mystic. It's called Mystic now, not Uber. But yeah, you can find it all the way at the bottom, very bottom. See Mythic unique stuff. You know what I find interesting though? On the Ring of Starless guys, there is no range. It's just +2. Wonder why that is. Didn't Rogue get a unique chest piece as well for the PTR with the Dark Shroud? They did, yeah, they did. They could buff that. Who knows? Again, we don't have information, so I don't know. But the Tyrael's Might though is still more damage reduction, even though you don't care about the affix at all whatsoever. But it's still more damage reduction overall, and it saves you from having to cap resistances. In general, you get it automatically. It's just way too good. Almost way too good not to use. At first, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna use this in the rogue, and then I kind of thought about it again. I'm like, well, especially if like this is GA'd and this is GA, like the damage reduction is GA, and the max resistance to all elements is also GA. It's just ridiculous amount. It doesn't rely on Dark Shroud, which is a great thing. But you do lose an aspect though. So like, while this is defense, you actually lose some offense for going this route. Because you can't do like a utility aspect like passive or what's another one? But retribution is not utility. Pretty much concussive. Concussive is decent at 20%. So, I mean, I guess you can do a regular chess piece with concussive. You can gain more damage that way. You can get another 20% multiplier, but you still got to find a way to cap your res. And you got to hope and pray that you get, you know, a GA Dark Shroud. This just comes ready, but you also got to, you know, farm for it or whatever. So Frostbitten, I already got that still on the boots. I ain't changing that, I don't think, ever. What up, G-Mac? Patch knows a while. They are. Still missing some things, which is kind of annoying, but we can also get rid of attack speed on pieces now, so I don't need attack speed anymore anywhere. Sorry. How do you get unstoppable on your build? You don't. They're also reducing the crowd control duration on a lot of crowd controls in the game. So, and now that you can actually use potions when you're crowd controlled, means that I don't really necessarily need an unstoppable. The idea is just to not get hit, really. And this is supposed to be played at more ranged anyway, so there is that. Supposed to be. So we don't need attack speed here. Since we don't have health anywhere, should we put health? Or should we just be greedy and go dex? Let's go dex because I'm greedy. Wait, what is the new Shaco value? For armor. Starts at 2,500, right? And that's not masterwork. Whereas a one masterwork armor roll. Well, sorry, full masterwork, but no crit only gives me a maximum of 25. So actually, the Shaco by itself should be enough armor to cap. Maybe with like maybe a couple of skulls right here or whatever or two. Vanilla, what's going on? Feeling better today? Actually, I have. I have felt a little bit better today. By the way, let me tell you guys a cool story while we're messing around with planners and stuff. So I went to KFC earlier today for the day stream because I was streaming the live the campfire thing, right? I went to KFC instead of Zaxby's. I don't really know why. I don't know why I chose to go to KFC this time because it was further away, and I was just like, Zaxby's is around the corner. I can just get Zaxby's, you know. And so I get the KFC and I was ordering, and I don't know if it was my tone or the cadence of my talk, of my speech or whatever. But I got to the window and the guy was like, "Hey man, you sound like you're going through a lot. Like you got a lot in your mind, man. Like you just got like so much going on, like like so many thoughts in your head." And I'm just like, "How do you how do you know that? Like you know, what's that? How'd you pick up on that?" He's just like, "Man, I just know, man. Like you just, you know, like everything, you know, you're good and everything's good." And I was just like, he's like, "Bro, don't worry about it, man. Everything's gonna be good. Everything's gonna be all right. You know, you're probably going through some things, but man, it can be way worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whatever it is you're going through, man, you're gonna get through it." I'm like, I'm getting therapy advice in the KFC drive-through. I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, I'm like, what? And like, I was wearing like my like pajama pants, which had like the Superman logo on it, right? And I guess he could see the pants. He was like, "Yeah, see, man, you got the Superman pants on, man. You'll be all right. You'll be good. You'll be good. You'll be good." Right? And I'm just like, and I guess I started talking a little bit more because he was still waiting on whatever, on the whatever like that. I was like, "Yeah, I just had some surgery and, you know, complications after the surgery, you know, is still kind of happening. So it's just been kind of rough, man." And he's like, "Bro, I feel you. I feel you. I have surgery on my foot and I still can't walk the same. Like, I mean, I'll never be able to walk the same way I used to, man. But like, I look around the corner sometimes, there are people who are blind or people, you know, without legs, and and I think to myself, man, things can just be worse, man. Things can be worse, you know. So you know, you have to kind of think about it and be like, hey, man, you know, yes, you know, you may not be feeling that great, and then you know things are not looking up or whatever like that. But hey, it can be worse, man. You have to kind of just take, roll with the good, and like keep going. I'm just like, bro, like, this is why I was supposed to go to KFC today. Like, this is the reason why I was supposed to go to KFC to get therapy advice at a KFC. So yes. And like, generally speaking, that particular KFC is usually really bad customer service. So I was very surprised to not only get good customer service, but like literally like someone being like uplifting and like inspirational. It was actually pretty cool. So like, I did feel good. Like, I felt better. Like that actually made me feel good. I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. You're right. Things could be worse. Don't get me wrong. I'm, not in the greatest state, but hey, things could be worse. You're right. Some things are looking better. The stream is doing, pretty well. And when the highs are high, they're really high. My lows aren't as low as it used to be. There's growth happening there. Like I mean, there are things I can sit there and be like, yo, we yeah, some things are looking up. You're right. So it was a pretty cool trip today. So, but it was weird though, because I swear I was not gonna go to KFC at first. I was thinking about Zaxby's first, and then something just told me, bro, just go to KFC. Go to KFC. And apparently that was the reason why I needed that inspirational talk, man. Decoy, like, did you get a KFC s'more brownie? No, I didn't. I just got a chicken sandwich and fries. The sauce is good as that, yeah. But yeah, so that's my cool story for the day, man. That was pretty cool. So that made me feel better. I mean, I'm still in pain, but I feel better about stuff, I guess. This is kind of cool, but yeah. I won't deny that I would have. Well, see, here's the thing. I started my stream like 5 minutes before the live dev stream chat thing happened. And had I went to Zaxby's, I could have started 15 minutes before instead of 5 minutes before. So I could have started a little earlier. So like everything pointed to me going to Zaxby's as the logical choice. But for some reason, I still went to KFC. I don't know. Something told me to go there, man. And I guess that was the reason why. Chicken always helps. Pen or glass jar, where are you from? Or yeah, Canada. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a s'more brownie at KFC though. To be honest with you, I didn't look. Like, I legit just didn't even look. So I don't even know if they have it or not. Southeast US. Okay. All right. Same here, man. Same here. Yep. Southeast. That's why I had to ask because it's like, you know, Zaxby's is more in the south, southish area is more. So definitely in the southeast, but also like somewhat Midwest ish. Okay, so what else do I want to take a look at for passives? I'm taking my time putting this together. That's just because I just, again, I don't have enough information, man. Okay, I don't need this. This is probably more crucial now. Heal for 10% of your maximum life when the dark shroud shadow is removed. It's probably important now. Your desert heat dry rub B dubs enjoyer. You said you're out of GA? Okay. Cookout is also a really good chance. Yeah, I'm like one state over from you, Panda. You guys is a long ways from me. Just not gonna lie, the best chicken I ever had was a back of an alley place in Maryland. I'm telling you, man. Like honestly, like I put it this way, like they like Church's Chicken is still like around, but like very like they're like there's only like a few of them left. But like a Church's Chicken, like the more sketch it is, the better. Like if there's not fights breaking out or like, you know, broken side window or like half the letters aren't working in the like light up sign or whatever, then like it ain't worth going to. I'm just saying. If you don't fear for your life going to a Church's, you're not at the right Church's Chicken. You're just not. I'm just saying. I'm not kidding. I'm absolutely not kidding. As someone who used to go to churches all the time, Church's Chicken. When I was growing up, that is the MO. Prefer Popeyes? Well, yeah, I mean, well, it depends. It depends. I think Church's Chicken biscuits are better. They got that like honey butter, or that no, it's not honey butter. It's like a honey sauce or something like that they put on the Church's biscuits. Man, I'm telling you, bro. You can just get biscuits from there, and like you're good. You're good to go. Popeyes, Bojangles, Mrs. Winners. I don't think we have a Mrs. Winners around where I'm at. Then KFC. That's how it is where it is where I live at the Waffle House. Oh, yeah, well, we all know about the Waffle House. We all, if there's no chance you would die, try another Waffle House. Cookout is only good at 2 a.m. We like churches, but ours is very dirty now. Yeah, you don't like going. All right. There's a difference between being dirty and being dangerous, right? Like those are two different things. So I can understand that. That's fair. What do I want here instead of trick attacks here? Because we're not gonna have that as a temper anymore. Probably smoke grenade cooldown reduction. Because we need to get them totems up more often. I haven't did the math on how much I need to get it to 0 though, so I'm gonna have to think about that. Also, actually, wait a minute. I need tempers. I just realized that. I got no way to like stagger well enough. So we got a daze technically. We got chill from whole clip. We got freeze. Oh, chill and freeze from rapid fire. So stun? We don't have a stun temper, do we? Who is that? Appreciate the follow. So we'll stun here. Got stun here already. Should I freeze? Is there any reason to take a freeze with cold clip? And also cold imbuement. I could take a daze. Like Diablo should look at skill animation micros like PoE. So what do you mean skill animation micros? What do you mean by that exactly? Sorry, I haven't played PoE in like a while. I mean like animation canceling or like people making macros for skills or sorry, I really don't know. Concussive would have been yeah, we can't fit concussive anymore though. Oh, you mean changing how the moves work? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. I'm sorry. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. So like this, like the visual of a skill. Do you know they can actually sell that? Like they can actually do like animation packs or whatever, or like visual packs on like the on the store or whatever. I'd probably do it. German rap again. You recognize? Oh, you're German? Oh, okay, that yeah. It seems like everybody who isn't German is like cool with it, but the people who can understand German is like, oh no. It just sounds cool, so I get it on my playlist. Microtransactions for cool looking stuff is pretty. Well, like yeah, I mean, I think that's. I mean, I would absolutely like let's say for instance, what's a good example like um I can't think of the top of my head, but yeah, I mean I would totally pay for like animation or a visual like changing the visual look of the skill, especially stuff like freaking Barrage and Rapid Fire. God, they're so boring looking. They sound boring too. I would like I would do an audio pack too. Barrage and Rapid Fire without the imbuement sounds so bad. Like the analogy I use every time is that Barrage and Rapid Fires, sound like they like someone just recorded like someone like tipping over some toothpicks from like a counter or something, or somebody just opened a pack of popsicle sticks on hardwood floor. Is what it's what it sounds like. Like it's like someone just got some high quality audio of that happening. It's like, all right, good, slap it on. We're good. We're done. We're done with Barrage, guys. We're done with the auto Barrage. It's just like it just sounds so bad. It really does. I think that's the reason why, like sometimes, like early on, like season 1, like season 0, season 1, we were so enamored by shadow imbuement because shadow imbuement actually made your skills sound cool. You know what I'm saying? Like it really made your like it even if it wasn't doing that much damage because it didn't really do that much damage then either. but it sounded like you were doing something, right? It sounded like cool. It was like, you know, just big echoing sound or whatever, like, you know, with like some like crazy reverb on it. You know, it just sounded powerful, even if it really, really wasn't that strong, but it just sounded like it was. You know, so we needed that, man. I think we just psychologically needed that. You know? All right, did I even fix this? Okay, so we got stun. I'm like not really working on the planner that well right now, guys. I'm taking like my sweet time, really trying to figure this out. So we got stun. Stun is still kind of pretty important, especially for this passive right here, dazing or stunning. So like, I guess we don't really need to try to do the daze anymore then. So I guess we'll go with stun and freeze, I guess. I guess we could do slow. So we can use cheap shot board still. Do we want to? Actually, no. I guess we can do the cold. Oh, we can do the slow cow traps now instead of cold. Because like actually the cold cow traps is well with Shaco, the regular cow traps actually slows better. So I guess we can still get our slow from there. We don't need it as a temper. If you have it as a temper, though, you can actually get some damage reduction from cheap shot, which we're definitely gonna need. This is a lot of damage reduction from slowed enemies. You make armor cap, yeah, easily with the new Shaco. Easy. That is if I don't go crown. If I don't go crown and go Shaco, armor cap is easy. There's many different things you can kind of do, and again, we don't know what the new values are on a crown, so like I don't know. I'm really tempted to do slow here, man. Might be weird. People will question it, but like it'll make sense from a defensive standpoint as well as a help the stagger standpoint. It makes the whole cheap shot board work for free. Especially if you're not doing puncture, right? So like that's also the thing to think about. And then here we don't really need the freeze temper. Let's do smoke grenade cooldown reduction, so we can get more of the totem. Also here with the Shaco cooldown reduction, we should be able to get smoke grenade like to happen quite a bit. Multiple totems, hopefully, without having to get another substitute skill. Need some life on the build. Oh yeah, well that's gonna be tough. I can literally put life on a glove, but that's really about it. And of course, like these places here, but yeah, we got attack speed now on Scout Hunter, attack speed on combination, a lot more attack speed on the combination dagger now. We're also using the bow now, so rapid fire should feel better in general. It's also a plus. We also got attack speed on Scoundrel's Kiss now. It's no longer the dodge attack speed thing, so that's also good. What we got? There's attack speed on the Starless Skies. Yeah, I mean we got so much attack speed. Best build for Rogue in season 5, we don't know yet. It's hard to say until we see the new unique changes. The new unique changes, which hasn't been mentioned yet. So, or shown us yet for whatever reason. So I will say I would say best builds. Like Rogue is gonna have quite a few top builds. However, if Victimize is fixed from PTR, Heartseeker has the potential to be the best build. Pinshot and Heartseeker would be very close. I would probably lean more towards Heartseeker because of the new dagger. But and the way the dagger works with Crown and Starless or whatever. But that's only if Victimize works or is fixed. But if not, then you're probably looking at Rapid Fire being number 1, kinda, with Barrage and Andy's Rogue being very close. Very, very close. So Heartseeker is God. Well, that's like, again, that's only if they fix the Victimize bug from the PTR. If they don't, then Heartseeker drops quite a bit. I won't say quite a bit, but it definitely drops because you can't use Victimize anymore. It just all depends. Unfortunately, it depends. Okay, so we don't need armor. So we could probably do Dex and dodge. I don't think there's anything else I care here for. Skills, co-resist, yeah. That's pretty much it. So dexterity and dodge, max life. I probably would like either GA or I don't know. I don't know. I'll mess with this later. I just don't know. What tempers would I want? What they're doing to uniques to bring them up to the level of temperate gear. They just made them really strong. That's it. They redid a lot of stats and the unique affixes. So, like for instance, Skyhunter is now better than like a 2-hand with the tempers or whatever. So, there's a whole page. That shows all the new unique affixes or whatever. It's wild, man. Get so much from a Barrage in season 4. Yeah, it's definitely better in season 5. That's because of the totem. The totem is really the saving grace for Barrage, to be honest with you. All right, so we got max health. We don't need all resistance here. Go back to dodge. Okay, so what passes do I want now? Skill tree. So I guess my question is, can trick attacks now roll on the amulet? Since they're removing the temper for trick attacks, can trick attacks actually roll on the amulet now? You don't really want weapon mastery anymore. Not with the bow. I know we don't have everything updated on the planner at Maxroll quite yet. So I almost think unstable elixirs is probably the player. Percent damage is actually still really good. Oh, sorry, percent dex is still pretty good. I guess weapon mastery isn't too bad. But I don't know. I can't really suggest a triple stat amulet either, though. So if I had to make a choice between like maybe Frigid Finesse and Weapon Mastery, I'd probably still do Frigid Finesse. And probably unstable elixirs. I don't know which one would I GA and Masterwork though. I haven't done the math. So let's just remove that quick. See what I feel. Skill tree again. It's still +6. What do I have +6 for? Oh, that's right. An idiot. 36% damage for 10 seconds. We got here 60% damage versus frozen. So yeah, I'd probably max out Frigid. Although it would suck against bosses though. But we have a totem for that now. So I guess we can be more liberal, I guess, with Frigid. And if I did a triple passive amulet, I would probably do weapon mastery instead of percent dex. But I need to do a realistic amulet. King Titan, what's going on? Rogue is looking stacked. What do I think of Eagle Horn now? I'm on the fence about Eagle Horn. Honestly, I think the stats are great. The unique affix still leaves a lot to be desired. I don't like the unique affix. I still think it's is rather weak and situational. But the stats though are really good. That aspect, is it new? The cold clip, yes, it is. I really want to play around with the GA Skyhunter. Well, the new Skyhunter doesn't have exploit on it anymore. And I don't really like exploit on rapid fire because it only works on the first couple of arrows. So I just don't like the idea of exploit on rapid fire, to be honest. Would he say he's gonna try to make a Bill Igor? Well, I mean, I'm sure he is. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but you know, I'm sure he will at some point. But the key word is try. You wish Trick Shocker were Eagle Horn. You want to have a link to that site with all the pre-posters. Unique buffs for season 5. Do !patch. That link always has patch notes. Always. And then you just go to the blog. Rob isn't looking too happy about Barb. Well, I mean, keep in mind, Barb has been on top for a very long time, so I can imagine him being you know, well. So I mean that's pretty much all I can really do, I think. Where's I put my health at? 25%. I said for 20, I'm sorry, 25k health. Materials might is really good. I can't look at my resistances quite yet because you know this isn't the correct materials might yet. So also the Starless gives a lot of resist too as well. So yeah, I guess I can just remove. I can remove the RS and then put armor there to make it easy cap for players that are gonna have issues that might have issues capping in case we don't do that whatchamacallit here. So things to still think about. Even though I'm still cap resistances actually. Wait, how am I cap resistances? Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. Okay. Yeah, I'm like, I don't have any over resistance anywhere. I'm like, oh yeah, Tyrios might. Even though old Tyrios might. So the new Tyrios might I'll remove these for armor. Or skulls or whatever. Skill tree. I gotta do a crown version of this too, probably. No build planner just read for season 5. Items so old. Well, yeah, it takes time to update them. That's the thing. Like our developers have to actually take, you know, it takes time to actually update these. Yeah. Trust me, we wish we had them too, but when he gets around to it, we'll have it. Curious question. Oh, okay. Vanilla, okay, yeah, I got you. Rob was like, well, it's time for Rogues to shine now. Well, like I said, Rogues, I mean, like I said, Heartseeker would be absolutely nuts. Same thing with Pinshot if Victimizes Fix. But yeah, Rogue has a lot of options. I'll put it that way. That's nuts though. How many ranks do Rapid Fire got here? Does Blizzard help giving you the game data from the? Nope, they do not. They do not. I don't think if there's anything else I may want here. Cooldown is 10 seconds. Hit that is 5 seconds. 29% reduction. A smoke grenade. Cooldown reduction. More cooldown reduction on the Harlequin than what we see here. Actually, what does the 0 look like again? 7%. So it goes from 7% to 12%. Or 10%. You thinking Fist of Fate and Creeping Death aspect would be a tactic? For poison builds, yeah. I can see that. What do you think about the new Rogue chess piece? I mean, it's good, but with the new Tyrael Might's buff, I don't really see Rogues. I mean, Tyrael's Might is practically best in slot for defense. In terms of a pull, I don't really. Not saying you shouldn't, like you don't care or wouldn't care, but I mean, I don't know. I feel like with all these new uniques not having health, and a lot of them don't have damage reduction. We got like a lot of damage, so we have to figure out defense right now in places, and I think the materials might kind of covers that. So I think not. I mean, obviously you do get Dark Shroud ranks with the new chests on the road, whatever. But like, I think you need more than that. Materials might is gonna cover that. I think, in my opinion. Every class is getting a massive power lift with the uniques. Is there anything in the game you won't walk over in season 5? So I don't know if it's really a massive power lift, as in more than now that the uniques are better than the legendary aspects. So you have to understand, like, it's not like we take the legendary aspects and the tempers from last season and then we just add a bunch more power to, with uniques. The uniques are now better than some of the legendary aspects that we used to use. So like the power creep isn't as big as people may think, unless the crown and the dagger and the amulet, the Locran amulet isn't nerfed. If those are nerfed, then we'll see just a little bit of power creep. But keep in mind the uniques are now just are buffed to be a little bit better than some of the legendary items that they've replaced. So it's not like we're getting like 20x more damage than we did before. Like it ain't nowhere near that. Like I would say rapid fire. Well, these sword kind of changes things because it's such a unique mechanic. But I mean, we might be dealing 2 to 3 more times more damage than we did before, which is still quite large, but not enough to like we're walking over all pit levels or whatever. Like we still won't be doing pit level 200 or whatever. That ain't happening. Inferno Hordes level 10 or T10 might still be rather impossible even for top tier builds. Like, so I don't know. He says, so Pit is the only thing then? Well, Pit was the only thing we weren't walking over before. So like, what are you expecting different now? Like Nightmare Dungeons, yes, we're gonna walk all over and like normal. Helltide, we walking all over that like normal too. World bosses are retuned in a sense, so there's no longer walking all over that. So no more one shot in world bosses. So there's that. World bosses will be like, I guess, take longer to kill. Fair enough. I figure I get a professional thing on the res and max res would free up stat. It does. It does. It does, and provides quite a bit of good, quite a bit of damage reduction. At the same time, so on a rogue, you don't really care about the proc effect. The proc effect is just free damage or free whatever. But it doesn't scale well with most of the stuff that we have, so we don't care about that. But we do care about the damage reduction. That's pretty much it. Even it'll be the shortest season so far. It's going to change things a lot. True. Both Angel Breath and Gear. That's also, yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that. That's pretty much about it. I need to look at my Paragon board though. Kind of like triple check some. Because I removed No Witness to try to pick up an extra glyph. I probably need to put that back though, because I won't have enough life to not get like, I don't say not get one shotted, but I think it's important to I forgot which board I want to drop though. I guess there's tricks to the trade. No, tricks to the trade is good though. Like the change of tricks to the trade is like very, very good. Who was it? Canadian Arrow. Appreciate the sub. What build am I looking to start off with in season 5? Definitely. I always level with Barrage. I'll probably still do the same thing. Or maybe Flurry. Flurry looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. Earlier on, especially. What I feel about life per second, it's not worth. Versus max life, no. Nope. Max life always. There's not, you don't get big enough, you don't get a big enough roll for life per second for it to matter with as much health as we have now. It just doesn't scale well. Also, not like we leave dungeons and reset them for durio runs. You can just start again. Yeah, that's also very good. That's a really big change. So season 5, right? The boys are back. Yeah, back. Gonna run Flurry to dash and was fun on PTR. Yeah. So like for farming and stuff like that, that's actually really, really super good. I think I actually might do something daring and drop the deadly ambush for no. Because like I feel like, so it's either that or I remove trick attacks or tricks of the trade, and this is gonna be really good now. The way that it is on PTR, or the way that it now is. So like this is a better buff than the deadly ambush one, and the deadly ambush one requires caltraps for it to work. Required to drop the caltraps, whereas here, if I remove that, it's like okay, I can use that for more utility, and then maybe for like longer fights or whatever. But here is like, okay, it don't work unless I'm using caltraps, right? So, but I'm at to drop one of them. Right? One of them is gonna have to go. So I think 6 tricks to the trade is up more often and it's more damage. That's gonna be the way. Doing Flurry, and I'll try Andy's Flurry when you get Andy's. I think Andy's Flurry honestly will be like a cheaper. I think so. Like there's gonna be quite a few Andy's builds. You can do Andy's Flurry, Barrage, Andy's, Twisting Blaze Andy's, and then Puncture Andy's. But I feel like Puncture Andy's is just gonna be better overall than the other Andy's setups. So it's kind of like if you're thinking about like doing Andy's and you want the best possible setup for it, I mean Puncture is just the way to go. Everything else is just gonna feel like lesser, if that makes sense. But I mean you can do it. I'm not saying you can't do it. Like Flurry's Andy's is not won't be bad. It won't be as good as let's say Barrage Andy's and then Barrage Andy's won't be as good as Puncture Andy's. And Twisting Blaze is not as good as either of them with Andy's just because of his hideously low lucky hit chance. So King Titan says, so do you think Pin Shot would be best build for season 5? Don't know. It just depends on whether or not Victimize works correctly or not. What cutthroat skill would I use if I run Barrage? Dash. You don't have to hit anything with tricks of the trade. You can just literally use a cutthroat skill. So I dash, I get 8 seconds of marksman damage. So I don't need a cutthroat. I don't need a throw skill that deals damage or anything like that. I just need a dash. That's it. And that works. I'm not gonna have enough strength. No, I will. I will. Um. Actually, I wonder, do I even need? I don't really need devious really here. Go with something different. Then maybe I can go like pick up some extra crit damage here or something. So I don't really need another gem. Another glyph. And or I guess I could go like ranger for some damage reduction instead. I don't know yet. I feel like Eagle Horn is gonna surprise a lot of people. Oh wait, so Eagle Horn will be fine if Victimize works. Well, not too interested in Umber Crux. It seems meh. Umber Crux is actually like the thing, because what people don't understand is that like boss damage has always been rather weak on Rogue, because a lot of our multipliers and stuff has always been crowd control related. So the Umber Crux sword actually solves that issue, because the damage that comes from the sword is not crowd control damage. This is regular damage. So it actually helps kill bosses significantly quicker. That's why it's like wanted in like every build almost, basically. I don't have enough strength. Hmm. I wonder if this can be 6. I do make this 5, and that's whatchamacallit. I'm gonna have to do this in order to make that work. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm across this A1. It really is. You're not interested. I just never like using traps. It's not really a trap though. Like I guess do you like using smoke grenade? Like, do you like using smoke grenade at all? Why do I feel tension between Woody and Rob? I feel like they throw discreet shade. Oh, you mean because like Woody with the barb nerfs, and Rob with the tends to throw shade at the rogue class all the time? Is that how that goes, or I don't play marksman skills very often other than puncture. Okay, yeah. When playing on PTR, that was working for any player that hit it. Will it be the same for season 5? Yes. Yeah, so I mean, if you run smoke grenade, then you can proc the sword. You can proc the totem. So, and most builds would generally have smoke grenade in it anyhow. So it's just you get a free totem for casting smoke grenade. I guess that's the way that we look at it. Actually, I really don't even know what glyph I'm on here. The Paragon board is so dry and boring now, man. Exploit's not necessary. Okay. I don't really need fluidity here. You could put it here. I guess capping the decks would be hard. Literally, this is gonna go all the way around to do it though. That gives me 30 decks. On the strength in there. That gives you 40. Technically, I could still go Ranger here. Damage reduction. I probably get questioned for it, but it's alright. But at least we got some life back though. I guess I could go here and pick up these for more life as well. Okay, one here. For all res nodes. Okay, I mean this is pretty decent. Decent as in like it works. I could put combat in a better board though. Like here. Pick up that. Oh no, not really. I guess I could. Instead. So I can pick up. Actually, that actually might be the play because now we have less crit damage tempers now. So going from 39 to 49 actually might be worth. Hmm. I kind of like. I guess I mostly stuff it that way. I guess I had to do too much changes to the Paragon board itself. I ran Smoke Grenade and found it easier to control where the Podum ended up. Those skills you need to have a mind of its own where it respawn. Well, I think as long as long as your mouse is over, as long as your mouse is over the thing, like the area, like the totem is placed wherever your mouse is placed. So it doesn't matter what the skill effect does. So like let's say you try to do poison trap, as long as your mouse is over the enemy and you cast poison trap, the poison trap will still be at your feet, but the totem will be wherever your mouse is. So technically speaking, you can do poison, smoke grenade, and poison trap to kind of get both totems out quickly or quicker sense. No, not usually. I'm usually a fan of having to use. I'm not a fan. You have to use smoke grenade or cow trash to get more damage either. Though you don't like poison trap either. I see. Only slot I can use it for is using dark shroud. And I plan on using shroud. Thunder is too as well. Um, skill slot. You mean? Do you guys talk to each other rogue streamers and try to come up with build ideas? Sometimes Woody and I talk. We used to talk more. We don't talk as much now. With things unless we need to think about what we're gonna do for like a Maxroll guide stuff, like what route are we gonna go for certain builds or whatever on Maxroll. But I think at this point though, there isn't really too much to really. I want to say there isn't too much of theorycraft per se. I mean, there is, but like, I think at this point it's just kind of like I'll do a planner, he does a planner. It's kind of like, hey, cool. That's pretty cool. And then he looks at mine. He's like, hey, okay, that's pretty cool. There might be like some discussion on like, maybe some ideas, the different ideas or whatever, but we don't like sit down and like theorycraft builds together per se, if that makes sense. Have I met Lucky Luciano? Yeah, I met him at Blizzcon. I have to take a picture with him and Rudy. We called it like the Rogues. I say the Rogues just because, or it was named the Rogues, I guess you could say, just because at the time, in terms of content creation is concerned, like those, those are the three that you kind of like know, like new-ish. Obviously, you got like really good rogues like Slot and Sanctum and Nippy and like those guys or whatever. Zerai, Crafty, name goes on and on, right? But it was just subtitled The Rogues. But yeah, it was cool. Is this still a thing? 8.7% maximum life while Dark Shroud is still active. On maximum life now. Really only 30k? Even with the Paragon changes? I swear I was gonna get better than that. Or more than that. I don't have any strength. I don't have any other glyphs though that changes. I have to like go like I can see something. So I could do that instead of devious. Um, that's Intel, so I have to go the other way. At least it's rare nodes though. It's still, I guess it's still the same amount of whatchamacallit though. 30,754. Just 30,969. I mean, slightly better. I mean, it's really not. I'll still have to. Yeah, I'll just keep fluidity here. Yes, but I'm going to use agile ranks instead, personally. Okay. Just has been found about 50% and 60% dodge from agiles. Perfect. I actually need to actually look at my skill tree, and I don't even think I have agile even in the skill tree. I went very defense or very offensive heavy here. Just because Dark Shroud is like so good next. Actually, I don't even need this anymore. Um, I could throw this into agile. Sure, why not? I got Skyhunter now, so this is not nearly as important. Is victimized bug fixed? We don't know. Apparently, it's not listed in the patch notes, so yeah, got that. You thought you saw it in there? No, what you saw is the old white text, meaning the fix from season 4 to PTR. They fixed the double dipping. So it no longer double dips, but they broke it in PTR to where instead of things no longer double dipping, a lot of things don't even single dip anymore. So it's like back to season 3 values or season 2 values where no one used victimized because crit damage didn't work. Most multipliers didn't work. Like a lot of things just didn't work with victimized. And so it's bugged again, but in the bad way. So we didn't see a fix to that on PTR. That's what I mean. Yeah. So that's the issue. Yep. When they fix it, it's gonna triple dip. Man, who knows, man? Who knows? I swear I'm not even gonna really talk about it. I'm gonna just leave it alone. Which decks did I end up getting? 1400. Okay. Dodge chance is 43%. That's actually not bad. I actually don't even know if I'm gonna temper dodge or do I want to do max life dodge thing. But yeah, only 30k health though. That feels very rough. Like rough for like the for who I'm writing a guide for. I put it that way. Like on Maxroll, like I'd be fine with 30k health, but the average individual would not be. And that's 30k health with the Shaco. If I went Lucian, well, Lucian also has some health, but simulation aspect kept you less easy with 20k life, to be honest. Well, I mean, keep in mind too in the PTR, like Dark Shroud is so good that generally speaking, it should be fine, but people start to freak out when they see like this lower health. And you can't really get 100% dodge anyway, not with having all these new uniques that we need now. Because your slot circuit is basically filled. You'd have to like temper and like greater F. You have to temper and masterwork dodge chance and all that stuff. And again, when I'm thinking about the average player trying to put together a build, that's kind of rough. I mean, already suggesting Uber Uniques is also really out of the realm, but I do need to put a in-game version, and this would technically be it. Technically. I'm gonna refresh the patch notes, see if they actually put anything out. Actually, you know what? I can check somewhere to see. I haven't seen anything yet. Yeah, I've gotten no more information on patch stuff. All right, so I guess we won't know anything about the changes to the new uniques until like later. Temper, agile, ranks on pants, chess. You're gonna. Well, I guess if you want to do that chess, okay. All right, I think I'm gonna have to save. I'm gonna update profile here on the, what is this, the season 5 PTR rapid fire. Barrage would be pretty similar to this. At least the combo point variation of this would be like very similar. We just trade out Scoundrel's Kiss for a regular legendary. change the basic attack, of course. I have to like do like a combo point variation as well as an inner sight variation. It's both with precision. I think I'll let Woody handle the Death Trap Poison Barrage or whatever he does, or Andy's Poison Barrage. On Maxroll. And then I gotta figure out what I want to do with Flurry. Flurry and Heartseeker. Till you get the chest piece, yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, you do need something until you get the chest piece. All right. Well, I mean, I think this is pretty much it. This is all I can do. I wish I had more information so I can like be like, hey, but I don't. So we just have to wait until tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have it updated in the things, in the thing there. I actually would love to use Scoundrel's Leather though with the Inner Sight Barrage because of the Inner Sight duration is actually quite baller on the Scoundrel's Leather. Like that's like really good, and you know, really good. And considering that the mark is up longer, that means you get more traps to kind of spam out and stuff. So that's actually kind of neat. I actually don't even know if the traps that spawn from Umbra Crux actually works. So these traps from Scoundrel's Leather actually works with Umbra Crux. Because you're not really casting the subs for a skill, but you're proccing it. So probably not, but favorite this song. Taking it back a little bit. All right. Well, I think that's about it for me tonight. I'm gonna kind of keep it short. Keep the stream a little short. I will stream a little longer tomorrow and get through more planners and stuff tomorrow. I just don't like not knowing. I just don't like not knowing everything. So like I can only make blueprints kind of, and then that's kind of it. Where it's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess we can do this route or make this kind of happen. I don't even know if trick attacks can actually roll an amulet now since they're getting rid of it as a utility. I guess a lot we don't know still, unfortunately. But yeah, all I can do is make blueprints, and I'm kind of like not really yeah, I don't know. But because of that, I don't really have as much motivation to kind of go through all the planners and just make blueprints. When I know what's gonna happen, it'll be easier for me to be like, okay, now I know I can do this and I can do that. But yeah, season 5 will be short. Yes, 2 months. Yep, just only 2 months long. So, and that's it. Feels bad to put in effort now. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I mean, the thing about it is, you know, I at least built around the Shaco as the first blueprint, I guess, just in case Crown gets like gutted. I at least know the Scoundrels is going to be fine. Combination Dagger is fine. Scoundrel's Kiss is fine. Starless is fine. What I don't know is Umbra Crux. What I don't know is Trick Attacks. Like if that's going to be in whatchamacallit. Um, yeah. So also short to find uniques. Well, I mean, uniques are gonna be easy because we can target farm the bosses and we can spawn the bosses faster now. We don't have to like leave dungeon and all that crap. So we're back to boss farming basically. But at least we would be farming different bosses per se. So yeah, get the good version of these uniques. Definitely we can be doing boss ladder a lot. So that gives us something to do besides just spamming pits all day. And maybe Inferno Hordes all day. But I mean, I guess that, I mean, if you think about it, content wise, I mean, we have we have quite a bit if you think about it. So because they're important, right? Inferno Hordes is obviously the new content. Pit is still very necessary for masterwork materials. Helltide is very necessary for, well, everything else. And then bossing obviously for the uniques necessary to do the other content that you want to do, to fill out your build or whatever. So I feel like there's reasons to do multiple different things. So I think I don't feel season 5 will be that stale in terms of like in game, what am I gonna do today type ordeal. So I think that's gonna feel pretty good, that part. With the unique or Uber items we get in season 4 become legacy and Eternal Realm, and legacy items will not get reworked in season 5. So let me make sure I understand. You get in season 4 become legendary Eternal Realm. So the legacy items will get the unique affix rework, but not the stats. So the stats will be legacy on the items you got in season 4, but the unique affix will be retroactive. Will Stygian stones be easier to get? In season 4, it was like when they patched it, it was easier to, like, we were getting more of them. They were pretty easy at that point. But now that Stygian stones is going to only cost 1 per torment boss instead of 2, which doesn't sound like a big reduction, but it is. We'll be able to do torment bosses quite a bit more now. Hello, bro. There's already a road leveling build for season 5. We haven't like finished anything yet. Like we literally just saw the campfire live stream and we're trying to dissect all the new things. We don't have anything. It's impossible for us to have put any guides out or anything in 6, 7, 8 hours on Maxroll and get it approved and get it reviewed and all. Like it's impossible. If we could work that fast, that would be amazing. But I guarantee you quality would suffer because we'd just be throwing it out there and being like, hey, we got it first. We're the best kind of thing because we got to have to file first. So no, there's still information missing. We still don't have certain information on some uniques or whatever. So we can't put out anything until we know what those are. So, but yes. But trust us though, we will have updated guides leveling and in-game guides before the season starts. So most likely by Monday, so the day before, but because it's going to be a long weekend. But yes. So best tier list is coming. Well, I mean, tier list in general is coming, yes. We always update the tier list before the season goes out. So we'll probably talk about it this weekend. You're still missing a ton of information you need to do, guys. Well, of course, but I mean, we can only do what we can. Prediction. Well, we'll talk about it on Saturday in our Maxroll meeting, and we'll discuss it as a group to figure out what the relative power we think things are going to be based on the changes and how they compare to other classes, and that's how we put them tier lists out. It's never a one person thing. Or Rex comes in, it's like, yo, I think the tier list is this, and then we just go, all right, send, right? Our meetings generally is a very democratic process. We generally have to all agree on stuff. What am I hoping for? Well, I'm hoping that they fix victimize, because it was broken, but the other way on PTR. Hoping to get the new unique values tomorrow, so we can finish putting our planners together, so we can actually finish our build guides. That's what I'm hoping for. I use Maxroll guys from the day one. I appreciate it very much. Your hard work. Thanks, man. It's gonna be a very long weekend. If you guys want to send us like some like a $20 Starbucks card to your favorite Maxroller, that would be nice, because we're gonna be up literally legit all weekend. What you describe as a consensus-based organization, not democratic. Well, I guess you could say that. Yeah, that's fair. KFC gift card? No. We're gonna need some coffee. I would say something else, but like that probably I'm not trying to get banned on Twitch, so we'll leave it at that. No prescription related things, but no, or black market whatever's. But coffee will work. Coffee will work. But yeah, all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like legit, we're all gonna be in the back end, just literally just in our channels, updating everything, and then hopefully, I think we push everything out on Monday. Usually, that's usually the plan. The day before, we push everything out like Monday afternoon, after everything has been reviewed and double, triple, quadruple checked and all that stuff. But yeah, we do. Yeah, the previous CEO of Maxroll was very adamant about making sure that we all have a say and we all kind of come to a consensus, basically an agreement. Rex just kind of follows that same thing. He didn't change that up. He just left it as it was, which is smart. That makes a lot of sense. Anyhow, I think that is enough for me, because I need to get some sleep. So tomorrow I can blast planners, and I'll be doing a lot of planners on stream tomorrow, by the way. So like, yeah, so tomorrow will be a pretty lengthy stream of me continuing to do planners, hopefully with the new information, so we can somewhat finalize planners, just depending. So yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow night to do much of the same thing, but hopefully with better info and things. True to go to this time. Wait, is Stormgate out now? Or is that like early access still? Okay, interesting. You guys don't want to watch Stormgate. I'm not. That's that's not where I'm sending you. I used to play a lot of StarCraft too, so Stormgate interests me quite a bit, actually. Anyhow, Aurora Games, Blades. We can go to Fame regardless. clip this Miss K. I haven't seen her before and like in a while. Oh, she's playing once human now. Never mind. She was playing D4. Roxy. Not a Roxy. I haven't been a Roxy in a minute. Yeah, let's go to Roxy. All right. All right, guys. As always, appreciate y'all. Have fun over there. Catch me tomorrow night. We'll be doing again much of the same. I'll probably start the stream a little earlier too. I know I start at like almost 10 o'clock, 10:30 tonight. So I'll probably start like around 7. So we can get a couple of more hours in. But yeah, the idea is to finish up rapid fire with different variations. So I'm not suggesting just Uber Uniques on the main guide as the main way of going things. So I gotta do multiple different variations for the peeps on Maxroll. So we'll finish our rapid fire. We'll do Barrage. Then we'll probably do Heartseeker. We'll probably try to do a version with Victimize and the version without Victimize. As a just in case. If I get to Flurry, I will. If not, we'll get the Flurry Saturday night. And do multiple different variations there. Also, some of the leveling guides, Barrage and Flurry leveling guides too as well. So, anyhow, regardless, you guys will get to see all the planning process even before the builds go out live on Maxroll. So, anyhow, you have a good one. And as always, till next time.